The idea for the song "Last Rays of the Setting Sun" actually came to me about 3 years ago. I have two dogs, and I take them for a walk in the mornings, and sometimes I will be able to take them for a walk at the end of the day as well. And it was when I would take them on those evening walks that, if it were a particularly clear, sunny day, I would get to a certain spot where the sun would sort of be streaming sideways. As it's setting, it's streaming sideways through the trees, and I know it would mesmerize me. The way that the light within the forest would change, the quality of the light, the color of the light, and it would light up things that you didn't see before. I wanted to write a song that would portray the way that I was feeling about about the way I was feeling at the time. So I came up with a story that involved a guy who had lost someone, maybe a lover or whatever, someone very close to him, and maybe through death, or maybe she had moved away, or they had just drifted apart or something. And he would go to this one spot where he knew that she would come every day as the sun was setting, and she would come out of the sky and call to him. And so he would jump on his silver-winged horse and fly in the sky after her. And as fast as he could go on his silver-winged horse, she would always stay just out of reach. And then little by little she would drift away, and he would be left alone. And so he would fly back to the earth and back home alone, and would do the same thing every day. And this was the idea. I said I wanted to write a song about this guy, and so I had a lot of trouble coming up with words that would tell the story in a way that didn't sound cheesy. In this version of the song, you have the two of them together, and the man says to his lover and says, "Let's fly on my silver-winged horse." And they spend the day together. But at the end of the day, a ship comes from the sky and says, "It's time to sail, but there's only room for one." And the man knows that it's not his time to go, and so he lets his lover or his friend or whatever, whatever it may be, says, "It's your turn to sail, and I'll join you someday." And he goes home alone. So it's the same kind of idea, but it actually became I think, even better. It wasn't quite as cheesy this way. The music that I wanted to go with the song, I felt that such sort of a powerful spiritual experience of the song needed a sort of an equally powerful music to go with it. And at the time that I was writing the song, I was very very fascinated with, and almost obsessed with the music of, and still am, Jimi Hendrix, and some other people who were influenced by Jimi Hendrix, Eric Johnson and Steve Vai. And I was intrigued with the way that they would put chords together. You have certain chords that you go with within the key of G. Well, I didn't want that, because if you listen to, say, Jimi Hendrix, he's not following any particular rules. He's writing more the music that just felt right. The chord doesn't have to be within a certain key or something. So I came up, I started playing chords that, you start in the key of G and you think you're in G, and suddenly there's this F chord or this B flat, E flat stuff that gets thrown around, and so you're really shifting tonalities. In addition to Last Rays of the Setting Sun, which is kind of the central song of the three that we're releasing, there were two other songs that I wrote that I felt kind of bookended the song. They had a similar message. They're also in a similar key. They're all three songs are in the key of G. And so I wanted to kind of present them as a package. This is like a musical trilogy. The first song is called Miss You, and it's an acoustic solo piece that I wrote about 5 years ago. And what had happened was we had a cat, and this cat would have kittens on a semi-regular basis. And of course, you can't keep all of the cats. You can't. I didn't want to keep any of them. We couldn't keep any of them because we already had a cat who wants the kittens. Then we become like a crazy cat lady. And my daughter Rachel was particularly fond of the one that she had picked out. She called it Toki, and then the kids knew that eventually we had to give the cats away, and we did end up having to give Toki to someone else. My heart was broken. I didn't want to give her kitten away. So it was at the end of that day. Everyone else had gone to bed, and I was just feeling really I was really bummed, really feeling bad for her, and I started playing this song on the guitar, and it was almost like an epiphany, like boom, this entire song came to me almost all at once. It was really neat. It was it was only the first time that I'd ever had a song that almost wrote itself. And like I said, this is just a solo acoustic piece, but the melody and the chords that go along with it really just kind of appeared to me. There were a couple of chords and a couple of little things in there that I did spend a little time trying to fine tune. But essentially, the whole thing kind of wrote itself, which was always amazing to me, because I'd never had that sort of thing happen before. And so I called it "Miss You," and because it was a song written about my daughter missing her cat. I've always been, for a long time, I've been a big fan of Joe Satriani, who a guitar player who writes some fantastic, simple, singable guitar songs. He's very focused on the melody, and so I wanted to kind of emulate that in my own way, and I came up with a sort of a simple melody that went along with a simple chord structure, sort of a highly hummable sort of song. It became "Chase the Stars with Me," which got its name because I wanted it to kind of, like I said, bookend the last rays of the setting sun. So you have the beginning song of "Miss You," someone, you're missing someone, and then you move to the last rays of the setting sun, which is a song about holding on to that and yet at the same time letting go. And then finally you move to "Chase the Stars with Me," where it's almost sort of like the sort of heavenly end of it all, where everything's good, everything's happy at the end. Happy to finally get these songs out. There's about 5 years worth of music on here that I've been holding on to for a while, and I hope you like it.